Okay, friends, welcome to this month's TBR jar picks my reads. I do have it here. I do have it here. And I remade it. So last night I sat down and I went through all of the TBR like picks that I had still in my jar, decided which ones to pick, and I wrote them out on new paper. So all of the ones that I wanted to keep that we have never seen are blue. And then I went through some of the TBR jar picks that we have had because I actually saved each and every one of those prompts and I wrote them out on yellow, the ones that I wanted to put back into the jar. And then the pink ones are new prompts. So we have some color coding going on here and I'm very excited. So last month, I think I picked 5 books and I've only read 4 of them. I actually, during January, did way more mood reading than I thought I was going to do. We were stuck at an airport for 4 days. I have been launching a collection with my own brand. We have had 3 different friends come visit us at 3 different occasions. Quite honestly, I've had my time filled with stuff. So I've just been mood reading a bit and I kind of knew I wasn't going to get to that last book, the big one. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to put that on the back burner. It doesn't even matter if I read it or not. So I'm not going to force myself to read. Like, this is my hobby. This is what I do for fun. So I have read the other 3 and I've started with the 4th and I will finish that before the end of the month because I'm very intrigued. So we are going to draw. I took my slippers off. We are going to draw. So we are going to draw um, 5 different prompts. Oh my God. Let's not look at them. Oh, yellow one. Yellow means a prompt that we have had before on this channel that I decided to put back in. And it is a dark romance. Okay. Okay. Let's see what we have. Okay, I was looking through my books. Hear me out. I bought this book thinking that I was going to be like, I don't know what I thought. I was like, oh my God, I've seen this on TikTok. I should really read it. And I literally picked this one up because people said that this was a dark romance that they were laughing out loud at. Am I making a mistake? Is this a mistake? So this is Nevessa Allen's Light Out. It says an Into Darkness novel. It says a dark romance like you've never seen before. Can you handle the ride? Probably not. Listen, I'm a weak bitch and I'm not a prude, but I don't always love dark romance. But this says trauma nurse Ali Capilucci, ooh, Italian, doesn't need any more kinks. She likes the one she's landed on just fine. To her, nothing could top the masked men she follows online. Wait, is this like an online? This could be the category of read a book you know nothing about. She fantasizes about one man in particular hunting her down, but she never could have guessed that one drunken text could have made those dreams into reality. Okay, so she wants to be um oh, okay. So it's like a guy that's a thirst trap. Wow. Um why did I buy this book? This could be in the category of why did I buy it? I have no idea. But yeah, I'm gonna read this one. I've heard it's funny. We'll we'll see. Could you let me know if I'm like making a mistake or not? But I have no idea. Okay. Next one. And it's gonna be another yellow. Ooh. So another prompt that we have had before that we are gonna do again. And it is gonna be sci-fi. Listen. Try and stop me. Try and stop me. Oh my God, I'm falling off. Try and stop me. Morningstar. I am pretty sure. By the way, I'm following this guy on Instagram, and he's like one of the few authors that actually has kind of an interesting Instagram feed. Other authors should take note. I like his Instagram feed. So this is the completed trilogy, but I do know that this series like continues, but I think it's like a different characters or different arc. I'm not 100% sure. Let me know because this universe continues with more books, but this is the last book in the trilogy. And if you know anything about my goals for 2026, it is to finish 10. I was going to do 10. This is not 10. I need another 10 series. I'm going to finish 10 series in 2026. And so far, I have finished 1, and I will talk about that in my reading wrap up. This would let me finish another one and I loved The Golden Sun. Loved, obsessed, 6-star read, absolutely amazing, obsessed. So now I get to read Morning Star. And actually, listen, I've been very successful convincing my husband to read some of my favorite books. So he has read Quicksilver and he enjoyed it, which is good because divorce is messy. And then he read Murderbot, he enjoyed it. He's currently reading Atmosphere, and I have not read that, but he bought that because I said a lot of people love it, and he's really enjoying that one too. And I told him it's gonna be Red Rising and The Will of the Many after, because I know he will love those books. So I got so excited I dropped it. It's gonna be Morningstar. So this is a sci-fi, and the first book. This is of course the third book in a trilogy. This is a masterpiece, like book series. I gave the first book a 4-star. It was good. It was more of a trials in a war academy. The second book, oh god, it's so good. The third book, I'm hoping for another like 6-star read. So it is about a guy. He is living underground in Mars, and he is working in the mines, and he has been told that the people working in the mines are the ones to like get to that gets to colonize Mars as soon as it has been terraformed. And they have a very structured society where everyone is according to a group, and he is a red, which is the bottom level group. Eventually, he gets to the surface, he gets shown the surface by a rebel group, and he gets shown people are already colonizing Mars, and his people, the red, they're being kept as slaves and they're lying to them to keep them under control. And that's how the book starts. Absolutely incredible. What a ride. What a ride. So I'm going to try and do Morningstar. Wish me luck. Okay. Let's see if we can get a different color. Ooh, pink one. Pink one is new prompts that I have not had in here before. I also will say 2 of the pink prompts are prompts that I decided to put in twice. Like there were prompts where I'm like, this is a good prompt. I should have another one of these. And this is published last year. Okay, that's great. Let's see what we have that has been published last year. Okay, actually I solved it pretty easily. This is a book series that I really want to continue. I gave the first book in this book series, which was called The Wolf King, I think. I gave it a 3-star. I thought it was okay. It was nothing amazing, but it was an entertaining book. I thought the world building was pretty thin. It takes place in like Scotland. So if you're into that, I know a lot of people say that they love that it's taking part in Scotland and it is about wolf shifters. So if that is your kryptonite, you might really love this one. For me, I thought it was okay. I will say though, this first book did build up to something that could be a little bit of a love triangle, which I am interested to see if they're going to explore that in the second book, which is The Night Prince by Lauren. I think it's Pop Raymond. I hope I'm saying that correctly. So this is basically about a daughter to, I don't know if he's a king or if he's just like a chieftain. I don't remember exactly, but it is about a daughter of a king, for the sake of the argument, and she is getting married off to someone she really despises, and they are having almost like a gladiator game where they are letting wolf shifters that have been captured fight until the death. And one of them catches her eye and another one gets very injured. So in the middle of the night, she goes and tends to the injured one, ends up being kidnapped by the one who caught her eye, and gets taken away to the wolf shifters because they escape in the middle of the night. And that's how the book starts basically. Of course, there's like this, I don't even want to call it enemies to lovers because they really never were enemies. Like she kind of quickly realizes that they weren't. But I mean, again, it was fine enough. Some people are really like, oh my god, this is a 5-star. I'm like, it's fine enough. But I am interested to see, because people are saying this one is even better, and I'm hoping that this one will be a 4-star for me. That's what I'm kind of hoping. I don't think that it will magically turn into a 5-star, but listen, who knows? Who knows? I'm gonna read The Night Prince. I think this is the second part of a trilogy, because from what I have heard, this is not. It's not the last book in the series. Okay, fourth one. Ooh, blue one. Blue one means this is a prompt that was in the TBR jar from before, but we ended up never picking it. So now we finally are. This one is a book you got as a gift. That's very interesting. I do have a couple of books that I have gotten as gifts. How advanced do we want to be? Actually, let's pick a thin book because this book, technically, I was given this book as a gift. And this is Wolves and Daggers. This is a Red Riding Hood retelling. And I got this in my gift basket when I went to the Romantasy Book Con. And it says, Who's Afraid of the Big Bad Werewolf? So this is again a Red Riding Hood retelling, but not really. So I don't know much about this book because again I didn't pick it myself, but this one is On the Fog Shrouded Streets of Gaslamp London. Agent Clemency Lowell is the most feared werewolf hunter. Every supernatural creature in Her Majesty's realm knows the Red Cape Society. Little Red Riding Hood. Red Cape Society's relentless operative dubbed Little Red. When the city's most illustrious alchemist mysteriously disappears, Clemeny? Wait, am I saying this wrong? I might be mispronouncing this name. Agent Clemeny Lowell. Lowell? Again, if I could speak, is assigned to the case to help her. Okay, so it's a her. To help her get the problem in hand, Queen Victoria appoints Clemeny a temporary partner, Sir Richard Lionheart. Oh my god, look at this. A werewolf with a knightly history and a tendency to be far too flirtatious for either of their good. Can Clemeny trust him to help her chase down the monster they're hunting? Wolves and Daggers are a retelling of the Little Red Riding Hood fairy tale set in Victoria's England with a dark academia, gothic, and steampunk aesthetic. Again, this is a thin book, and I'm excited to read it. And we all need a palate cleanse, a thinner one. So it's more of a novella, but I did get this one as a gift, so it does fit the prompt. Okay, let's do the fifth and final one. And yellow. Yellow means it is a prompt we've had before that I have put back. I think the color that is most represented, I think, are the yellow ones. A book in my native language. I actually don't want to read that. I do have some books in my native language, but I actually don't want to read that next month. Can I put that back? I mean, I will. Again, if you didn't know, my native language is Swedish. So I will just put that back because I actually really don't want to read that next month. I'll do another yellow one. I'll do this one. So I will read it, and I do have books in Swedish. I just not next month. A book with dragons. There we go. There we go. Let's go hunt. I actually couldn't find anything on my TBR, like my unread books, that really fit that prompt. But I do know of at least four books just on the top of my head that are coming out in 2026 that fits that prompt. So I think what I'm going to do is that I'm going to put it back, and hopefully I'll pick it later on. But if nothing else, I will read a book with dragons this year. I just did not have something in my unread books right now that I was like, oh, this will be the one. But I will read a book with dragons. I don't want to force myself to read something that I'm not feeling like right now, because that's going to end up with me not reading it. So again, I'm going to pick another yellow. I'll pick this one. Come here. Your newest book. My newest book. Because I made an order and I did buy a couple of books. Are those my newest books? Because I don't think I've bought anything since that order. I don't think I've bought anything since that order. Actually, in that order was a book that I really, really want to read. And that is Crossroads by Devney Perry. Devney Perry is the author of one of my favorite books of last year, which was Shield of Sparrows. And this is like a small town romance, cowboy ranchers. And I think that I am going to do this one. This says, I met West Haven when I was 8 years old. He taught me to play poker when I was 9. We made paper airplanes together when I was 11. He kissed me when I was 16. He was the best part about my family's summer vacations to Montana. He was the boy who stole my heart. I was 23 when life ripped us apart. Years later, I'm breaking my vow and returning to the ranch, not as a guest, but as its new owner. So she bought the ranch, or she inherited the ranch. Somehow it's hers now. West might want me gone, but even he has to admit the only way to save his family's legacy is with my help. It's not easy working side by side and facing those old memories, but this situation is only temporary. We're at a crossroads, name of the book. And as long as I don't let myself fall in love with West Haven again, maybe this is our chance to put those ghosts to rest. Maybe this time we'll finally be able to say goodbye. I think again this will be a good palette cleanse as well because I do have a pretty thick sci-fi and I have a fantasy, a dark romance, and the dark romance is pretty thick. And having two thinner books is probably a good idea. I have a very intense February ahead of me, so I don't actually know. I usually read quite a lot each month, but I don't know how much I'll be able to read in February. So I think it's pretty smart that I'm picking two thinner books as well. Because again, I'm here to have fun. I don't want to overwhelm myself. It just that feels silly. So the books that I have picked, oh my gosh, is Crossroads by Debney Perry. Wolves and Daggers by Melanie Karsak. I don't know if I said the author before. And then The Night Prince by Lauren Poperaman. Poperaman? I hope I'm saying that correctly. I might be mispronouncing then. And Morning Star by Pierce Brown. I'm so excited to read how this ends because honestly, I don't even know how they're going to solve this. The second book just ended in absolute just mayhem, massacre, just not great. And then Nevessa Allen's Lights Out, which I've heard is very, very humoristic, dark romance. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see what this will bring. And let me know if there is any prompts that you would like me to add to this. Let me know in the comments down below. It's not impossible that I'll be able to sneak in another little pink and note if there's another that you would like me to add. Actually, Ricardo added one. So one of these pink slips is actually Ricardo's suggestion. And I did put his name underneath. So if I add any of your suggestions, I will put your username underneath so we know who gave us the suggestion. Thank you so much for being here. Let me know if you have any books that you have decided that you're going to read in February. Is there any good releases coming out in February? I don't think there's any big releases happening in February. I think most of them are happening like March, April, May is usually a heavy release month, and then usually October, November, a lot of things seem to release. But give me your thoughts down below. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to read more about these books, or if you want to follow me on Instagram or Goodreads, everything is going to be in the description box. I'll see you soon in a new video.